Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Sales Unscripted podcast. This is Margaret Henney.
Brian Neal here.
We are
or should I say Brian Neal here?
Bling, bada, bling, bling, bling. Okay, for those of you who can't see us, nice zoom in. Okay, go to our YouTube channel and check it out. It's totally worth it just for the bling. Brian just got, tell them what you got. Tell the people.
So dream come true came, 35-year dream come true came true. Mm-hmm. Dream come true came true in February as my side hustle. I'm a football referee.
Is that a side hustle?
Well, it's more of a full-time job. I have
exactly.
2 full-time jobs. And so I'm I finished my 8th season in the National Football League. So a lot of listeners have probably yelled at me and not known it. Mm-hmm. Now that can say, you can bitch at me by name.
Get your head out of your ass.
Totally. It's amazing how raw they are, actually, with the shit they say. Oh, my God. And so I got to work the Super Bowl, which was just awesome. It was a great experience. Cool. And it was February. Now it's May. So I went out to my house. I let the dog out this morning. This is early, like pre-7 o'clock. And there was a package there from the NFL, which is normal because I get stuff from the NFL all the time. And I opened it up, and it was a signed football from the crew from the Super Bowl.
Cool.
Which I knew I was going to. I'm like, that's cool. And I started digging through the box a little more, and I found a watch. I'm like, this is cool. And then I moved. You know how you move in a box the packing stuff over to the side? There's one more thing. There was one more
It's like
thing.
in the Christmas present.
And it was my Super Bowl ring. And it's blingy.
It says
so it's
your name on it.
It does. Isn't that awesome?
I think it's amazing.
It's really fun, isn't it? So and it's really, and so I said as a joke, I never wear jewelry. I'll never wear this ring ever. But today I'm going to wear it.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm recording the Sales Unscripted podcast. Had some clients in here. I'm going to have it on all day. And I did kind of
like. Show it off. He was I had like my water, and you were like,
grabbing the
is
cup.
This
and I was like,
your
is
water
this
right
your water?
here?
Where you hold a big ring in front of someone. That's really great.
That's so fun. Normally, only girls get to do that.
It's really, really funny. And it's also funny too. Some people see it immediately, and some people I was grabbing Margaret's water, and I had her ring right in her face. She's like, yeah.
Stop touching my water.
Like, what? Why?
Get out of here.
Should it be vodka? What are we doing?
I wasn't catching on.
At all. Not at all.
Okay, I'm really surprised though that this was on your doorstep. They didn't have you sign for it.
No, I was really surprised. And it's fine. I mean, I got it, but I thought I would have loved to have known it was coming. Yeah. Not because to wait Christmas Eve. But because, you know.
It's stolen off your front porch.
Homemade,
it's a big thing.
Now, call it what it is. I mean, it's Justin's. We could get another one if you need to. Isn't that fun, though?
That's cool. Congrats.
I was writing up on the whiteboard today in class with my clients. Ooh. It was a really, long-term client, a bunch of people I know really well. I'm writing with my right hand. I'm like, man, my arm hurts. Turn around looking at it. Man, someone get me a sling. Okay, thrilled you're here. Sales Unscripted. My son was here today. He's going to be interning for us. He was in here checking out the studio. He's been here before, but he saw this logoed
Sales Unscripted
Sales Unscripted thing. He goes, "What is that?" I go, "It's a new podcast." He goes, "I've never heard of it." I go, "I know. We just started it." I said, "Do you know my friend Margaret?" He goes, "No." And I go, "That's what it is." And then he asked the question. He goes, "What are you going to talk about today?" And I go, I don't know. That's why it's called Sales Unscripted.
Bada-bing.
How about that?
I like it.
Literally, couldn't have been more perfect.
We should record it sometime when we come in, because we literally go, what do you want to talk about today? And we're like, I don't know. I got a couple ideas.
It's so true.
Does this thrill you?
Well, even the idea you came up with, which is a great idea.
Thank you.
Normally, and I'm not a real prepared guy, but I'm like, I need to think about this for a minute. I'm like, nope. That's part of the deal. It's unscripted. Yeah, I'm like, we're unscripted, right? And I push the button. You're like, bring us in.
Right off the cuff. Here we go.
Okay, so tee us up.
Okay, so I did have an idea, because this is something that used to bite me in the butt a lot when I was doing sales. And it's the idea of counterintuitive sales tactics or strategies that are really, really important, but they feel super awkward. You're like, "Ugh, this doesn't feel right." And okay, I'll give you my example.
I love it.
That is one of my favorites.
Okay.
It's go slow to go fast.
Okay.
So, do you want to tell the folks about go slow to go fast?
Well, I love you. Could you say it a little slower? Kidding.
It's the afternoon. I've had lots of coffee.
And we'll talk next episode about your trip. But yes,
okay.
She's on fumes and
go slow to go fast.
There you go. Very good. Yeah. Go slow to go fast. I'd love for you to explain what that means.
Okay, got it. So go slow to go fast is when you're working with somebody in the deal there. And I am someone who, as you might imagine, gets very excited. I'm excitable. I'm ready to go. I'm pumped for people. And that energy comes out to other people, which is great. It works in my favor a lot. However, we can really put the cart in front of the horse here. And you skip over a lot of what feel like maybe details, because they're like, let's do it. Let's run.
Yes.
And as a salesperson, you're like, absolutely. Let me get out the contract. Let's talk about next steps. I'm so excited for you. This is going to be great. You skim over a lot of super important stuff. And then the deal dies.
Is that the international sound for deals dying?
It is. Everyone knows that sound.
Yeah, we will definitely be a TikTok sound if we're not a famous podcasting crew. We're going to be a TikTok sound. For the international sound for deals not closing or whatever you said. What did we say? International
deals
sound
dying.
for deals dying.
There it is. Okay, so this happened to me too. It's happened multiple times.
Yes.
But one of them I remember very distinctly. I was working with somebody else, and they were just like, we were feeding off of each other's energies. We were very vibing.
Yes.
They were excited, but I didn't ask questions that I should have asked. Like, who else do we need to involve in this conversation, or what could get in our way? Like, it's on me actually to put the brakes on things.
Yeah.
And it did not feel natural to do that, especially like a lot of times you'll have a sales leader that will tell you not to do that. And you know what I mean? They're like, just get the contract in, send it, sign it, move on to the next one. But like, it can come back around. And sure enough, we didn't go over those really important details. Yep. She was like gung-ho, absolutely, green light. Next thing I know, I'm not hearing anything. I get an email and they say, we've decided it's not for us.
Yes.
And I was like, what?
Shocked.
I was completely shocked because we were on the same page, or what felt like the same page. It turns out we didn't get past page 1. So, of course, we were on the same page. We didn't get through all the other chapters, metaphorically speaking, if you will.
I like it.
That we probably needed to.
Yep.
So,
and I see this in my coaching practice with my clients all the time. And it's funny, now that I've seen it so many times, I see it before they see it sometimes. Mm-hmm. You just see it. And you can say, the cues you have, if you're most people listening are salespeople, don't mind the bling from my ring. I talk with my hands, and my big ass ring is like right in Margaret's
you
face.
like knock one of my teeth out.
Yeah. But she told me, but in pre-show, that her boyfriend has one of these.
He does, not a Super Bowl ring,
pretty close,
but a championship ring from the Durham Bulls one season, which was really cool.
Very, very cool. And Durham Bulls especially famous.
Oh,
I digress. So I see it coming, and the cues for me, and this, you can use these cues for yourself. Like I said, if there's a sales manager listening, you listen for these things like, no, this is a perfect deal. Like, if I could, this is the way I wish they all went this way. This is great.
Okay.
Any hiccups about this one? No, we're in a great job. We had everything, got everything went like, it's almost too perfect. There almost needs to be a little tension or angst.
That's so
in
true.
a deal, doesn't there, for it to be okay most times?
Yeah.
And so I would be very, very cautious if things are going too smoothly. Too quickly, because then you do exactly what you said, Margaret, is you skip steps. And that to me is the root cause of this problem, why it becomes a problem. You get surprised because you didn't do stuff that you thought that you need to. You go as fast as the buyer wants to go. This is the tough part, because it gets conflicted with the buyer. Buyer's like, look, I think we got everything we need here. We've got to do this. We've been talking about doing video forever. Co-video is our choice, so we just need to give me the document. I'll get with my CFO. We'll get it signed over to you. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it's really hard right there, right, to say, time out, hang on, slow down.
Yeah.
Especially now, you and I, we sell to salespeople.
Yes.
And sales leaders. So they're extra. It's like double whammy.
Oh, and there's high D personality, and they're like, I trust my gut.
I'm
move,
that way.
I'm that way. Which is not a bad thing. However, you have to just kind of take a step back and say, like, hey, I'll go as fast or as slow as you want to go. But right now, I want to pump the brakes for just a second and just kind of make sure we're checking all of the boxes. Like, just bear with me, because this is going to be the best in the long run. And you're going to uncover some stuff that needs to be talked about. And you have to talk about it with them in real time, not over email, because otherwise questions will come up either for them or with other team members. You won't be there to answer those questions, and all of a sudden,
there it is again.
I was ready to make that sound again.
It's your new favorite thing.
I'll stop doing that.
I love it. Well, it's especially great and a really great microphone.
I know. Well, it's also because I got these headphones on, so it just sounds especially perfect. So.
Oh, it's one of my pet peeves in life, mouth noise. Just in general.
No.
Oh, my stepson. Oh my God.
Why don't you tell me that? I'm over here like.
No, you don't know. You don't know. I'm talking about like eating mouth noises.
Oh,
like when people. Yes. Like lip smacking.
That's true.
And like just everything related to eating food and.
Wait. How do you feel about ASMR stuff then?
I don't like ASMR stuff. Not that I don't like. It doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do anything for you.
No.
Okay.
It's fine. It's funny.
I didn't know, because you know what I mean. Like, some people are really into that. Like,
I don't know.
Noises or like fingernails or like, I don't know, whatever.
Okay. So that's a good one. So counterintuitive sales things.
Yes.
Go slow to go fast. I totally agree with don't skip steps. It doesn't even have to be slow. It needs to be slower.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
So we're not talking about I want to go fast and you say, no, we're going slow. It's like, I want to go fast. You're like, okay, we're going to go a little slower than you want to go.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's just an adjustment back. But the salesperson's got to be the adjuster, kind of like a chiropractor.
Yeah.
You ever been to a chiropractor?
I have been to a
It's
chiropractor.
like, I need to go right now.
Yeah. I mostly just like the sound. See?
I saw you cracked your knuckles earlier. I do the same thing. I crack
It's so
all my knuckles,
satisfying.
isn't it, though?
I don't know if it's good for you, but that's
guess
my
everyone-
big one.
So that's a good one.
And it's
Yep.
just personally very top of mind for
Yes.
me because I'm just, again, I'm such an excitable person.
Yep.
And it feels very, when someone says, like, this is exactly what I was looking for, but they say it too early, like, that is, like you said, great indicator of, like, kind of like,
Yes.
make sure you're looking out for that.
Yep.
Like, later on, like, of course, that's great. Perfect. We found a match. Like,
Yeah.
I'm for you, you're for me, party, let's go.
Easy, right.
But in the beginning, if it's too easy, it's
Yes.
probably too easy. It's, you know, too good
easy.
to be too good to be true.
Too easy.
Yeah.
You're all you were doing. You're all over the.
So
you're all over
many
the sound
noises.
effects today. That's like the guy from Police Academy.
Oh
What's
my
it? You just
God.
snorted too. It's awesome. And I'm the sound auditor today. Poor Margaret can't even breathe or
I
move
know.
or anything. Neil's auditing all of your moves.
We'll do
You're
like a
snorting it.
little. We'll like cut it together, like all the different
Splice 'em?
noises I
Right,
do.
we can do that. We'll
Yeah,
do
it'll be like a little
playlist.
sound or a little.
Okay, so I'll throw one out. There's counterintuitive sales tactics.
Yeah.
Counterintuitive. Like, so I'm going to kind of combine one here, and that is not selling something that someone has asked to buy because you think it's the wrong thing for them.
Wait.
So-
Okay. Say this again.
So here's
Say it
so
again.
let's play it out. Let's just say I'm starting a podcast and I have this little Zoom audio interface and it's $1,000 and it's my first podcast and you sell these things and I'm like, I want a Zoom. You're like, well, so instead of going, okay, well, it's $1,000. You go, well, before we get there, tell me about your podcast. I'm like, well, I've never done it. It's my first one. I've never done one before. You never done a podcast before? No. Do you have a show like decided upon? Kind of, not really. I just know I want to do a podcast. You're like, you know what? I don't think you need the Zoom. Once your
Okay.
podcast is up, established, you know your voice, it's probably worth investing. You can get away with something, maybe a more of a starter kit for $500, about half the price of this and half the technology.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not there yet.
Oh my gosh.
See that?
That's so good.
So counterintuitive, right? And so people are like, no, bullshit, take the $1,000. Like, no, because if I get this, that sits on the shelf, right? And I
Yes.
go, I wasted a bunch of money. You know,
Yeah.
I bought this really expensive podcast equipment, and now it's just, I'm not using it. See
Yeah.
that?
Oh, that's so true. And I used to get that question a lot from people. So on the co-video side,
Yeah.
and they're really excited about video, which is awesome. But they're like, I need a
Yes.
great camera.
Yes.
I need
Yes.
my own microphone. I need a green screen. And I was like,
Nope. No,
no,
you don't.
actually,
No, you
let's
don't.
back up. And you're going to
Yep.
spend all that money and just be kind of ticked about it.
Correct.
And really, you don't need it. You can use your internal webcam and the microphone that comes along with it. Like, don't buy all this hullabaloo. I'm glad you're excited.
Yeah.
But like, that's not necessary.
No,
So-
no. This is about, to us, what we teach a blind zebra is intention. As you know, Margaret,
Yeah.
you carry really great intention. It's just who
Thank
you
you.
are. It's just wonderful. And we're doing the right things with good objective sound
Yeah.
data and information and experience. And if someone comes in and wants to buy something they don't need, we don't sell it to them.
Yeah.
We just don't. It's very counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Most people talk like, hey, if they're coming in asking for it, sell it to them.
Yeah,
man.
that's their decision.
Commission. That's how you feed your family. Like,
Yeah.
we've also decided today, one of my peer groups, that when people describe how someone else talks, they tend to do it in the exact same voice, especially when it's a spouse or a significant other.
Oh, yeah.
So if like you were imitating your exactly.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh hey,
Oh,
okay.
hey, my name's
Oh hey,
Dirk.
Margaret. Yeah, let's go.
Which
sit in
makes
the
him
day."
sound like an idiot.
Everybody, but it's
like,
everybody. It's,
yeah.
you know, like
Wait, what's your Steph voice?
We had a female. Like, okay, Brian, like whatever.
Okay.
Everyone makes this fate when they were imitating your significant other or your spouse or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is. Right? It's
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 true.
funny, isn't it?
Oh God.
It's like, well, I don't know. Okay, well, I'll just sit here and da-da-da-da-da. It's like we put this like dumb like sound on them.
Yeah.
Like it's so
yeah.
funny. Isn't
I
it?
do that. Oh, it's so
Everybody
funny.
does it
for
now.
anybody, not just Derek, like anyone
No,
else.
it's
whose
everyone.
voice
No,
I
we had
do.
a woman in class this morning imitating a man's wife, and you know,
And she had the same voice?
Yeah, totally. She's like, "Okay, Matt. Well, it's you know." He's like, "That's what she sounds like." Like, not really, but kind of. It's just
That's
funny how we do,
awesome.
isn't it? Okay, you got another one?
Oh God, I didn't think beyond that
I
one.
figured that.
I thought I had a good
think
one.
I think I've got another one.
Oh, tell
Can I
me,
try?
please. Yes, please.
It's along the same lines, and it is. This is why we're unscripted, because I forgot about it. Let's see.
Now I'm thinking while you're talking.
I know it's not. It's not saying no. It's kind of saying no, but it's not. Counterintuitive is. Dang it! I forgot it already. This is why we do this. We're unscripted.
I know. Okay, sorry. Okay, actually, this would be like a great. No, I don't really have one. But what I want to hear is like, because we need more engagement. I'm excited to hear more from the people who are listening to us, which we do get. So I want to hear from other people. Like, what is like something counterintuitive that you had to implement that felt really weird, and like, I don't know, just maybe. Not icky, because that's not the right word, but like you're like, ooh, I don't know, this is kind of going against what I would normally do.
I thought of it. I thought of mine.
You did? Oh, good. I
inspired.
See that? Ring, ding, 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 ding. I'm like distracting the people.
You're all over the sounds today, right? You get whatever that sounds. This is inspired by the book, The Challenger Sale.
Oh, okay.
Great book. A little old, but it's a great book. And that is that it's counterintuitive. Instead of asking people what they want.
Ooh, yeah.
You tell them what they need.
Yeah, that's good.
Instead of asking them what they want, you tell them what they need. We were taught so long. So how can I help you? What business problems can I solve? It's so cheap. I've got a client that used to say that. I'm like, I don't really work on. I want to ask her, what are your business problems? How can I solve your problem? I'm like, that's so old.
So old. And it's just generic too, and a little too broad. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And so, Challenger Sailing is. I sound like I'm from Evansville, didn't I? Challenger Sailing. The Evansville accent is not charming. My hometown is in southern Indiana.
I
on the
think
border.
it is.
No.
What?
It's
no.
the accent?
Yes, my cousin married the sweetest gal from Evansville, and she has this like adorable little.
It's a hick. It's hick. It's not
southern. Country.
No, it's hick.
I know, but
it's
I
hick.
like
I know.
I think it's endearing.
The Evansville wind tunnel haircut. Does she have one of those? Or
no,
she
doesn't.
You know what I'm talking about, though, don't you? It's the thing. It's like everyone froze time in 1989 in Evansville. Like, no one move. No one go to the salon. No one read a magazine. No one watch anything modern or hip. Let's just stay right here in '89. Just cruise Green River Road and go into Eastland Mall. We'll all be good.
The funny thing about it is it's just going to come back in style. They'll be like, we were already here.
It already did. So Challenger Selling would say, really important that we tell people what they want. We've been taught, like, what do you need? Tell me about your business problems, where you want it to go. All this question.
Yeah.
We are not taught very well how to say, based on what I'm hearing, here's what I suggest you do.
Yeah.
Most people say, people need this more than ever now. Buyers need that. They go, well, you're the expert. You tell me what to do. So if I'm buying from Margaret and buying video, and she's like, well, tell me about your strategy for getting new clients and and have you ever thought about video and So what do you at some point she's going to go, okay, here's what I recommend.
Here's what you should be doing.
Here's what you should be doing.
Yeah. Okay, this is funny because it also reminds me of what we talked about last time, the idea of being a salesperson versus an order taker.
Yeah, totally.
Which, like, if you haven't listened to that podcast, go back and listen to it because I thought it was a really good one. Humble brag. Sorry. Yeah,
but after that, we got 3 downloads. Me, Margaret.
Margaret's mom.
Margaret's mom. Your mom listens to our podcast. What's her name?
Kathy.
Say hi, Kathy. It's
Kathy and Fred.
Kathy and Fred are your parents. That is so great.
Hick
so
accents.
Sweet.
They have a little bit of that too, or that country.
Yeah, it's Indiana. My grandpa's name was Fred.
Was it?
Yeah.
Fred. Good.
Some of my most
Freds
influential
are good.
people on my earth. Freds are
good.
Yeah, you never met a Fred you didn't like, right?
Never.
I met Fred. Fred's an ass.
No.
That guy's an asshole. No,
Freds are
they're
genuine
so nice.
and sweet.
So nice.
I know.
Okay.
So it's a great, the order taker versus the salesperson, just asking the questions, but then being that expert persona, right?
Yes,
living into that too, where you're like, okay, based on what you said, this, and this, and you might even say like, okay, this might be an unpopular opinion for you, but here's what I think you should do.
Oh,
that's another.
That's a gem.
That's another
say
one.
That
that's
again.
Like,
can you say that again?
This might be an unpopular opinion, but and because you might, from what they've said, be like, oh, I might get some pushback on this, and I love acknowledging that. Actually, that's another great one that's counterintuitive.
What's that?
Is acknowledging hard things up front for people. Okay, so here's one.
That's good.
Oh my God, now we're rolling, baby. Okay,
exactly. It's because I put my ring up. That's great. Keep going.
I've got some team members right now, so we work a lot with folks in higher education on the admission side. Yes. Great people, by the way. I love working with higher ed. They are so passionate. Yep. But they go through these crazy cycles throughout the year when they're super, super busy. and we'll still be calling them throughout, right? We're like, hey, let's call, let's have a talk, let's talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And then they're having a hard time getting people to show up to those conversations sometimes. Yeah. So I told my friend Matt Duckworth, who you know, shout out to Matt.
No Duck.
And I was like, you know what, Duck, next time you get on a call with someone, you set a demo with them. I was like, what if you were just really upfront and said, hey, you know what? Something that's like going on for a lot of folks that are in your position that I'm running into is they are super busy right now and just will kind of ghost me, maybe through no fault of their own. They're just really busy. So they'll ghost me on the demo that we have set. Do you think there's a possibility that might happen here based on your schedule?
Beautiful.
Right?
Beautiful. Yes.
And like, just that might not be the best way to say it, but you can just be honest. Like, this is what's been going on.
Happening.
I know it might be a hard time for you. If that's the case, maybe we don't set this time, or if you're game and it works, great. But like, just let me know. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And that is such what was on topic. Because it's very counterintuitive. Because we're taught like, well, don't bring anything bad or negative, or don't say anything that might get in the way.
Exactly.
Or well, don't give them an out. So well,
don't give them an out.
No, they want if they're going to take the demo. I mean, don't tell them it's okay to not show up. Like, why? They're going to not show up.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
They don't. We
exactly.
Know they do.
Well, and then
they don't mean to.
Also
like
show what's going on in their world.
Absolutely.
You're empathetic to that. That creates trust with them.
Always.
Then also you can tell, if they're like, no, I'll definitely be there. And then like, I love to have like a little, I'm like, okay, all right, you said it. This is recorded.
Yes.
Like, I'm just teasing them, having a little bit of good fun, but it's something then that instills in them, okay, we had this conversation. I told Margaret I'm going to be there even though I'm busy. But then even if they say, hey, got swamped, can't make it, I'd be like, no worries. I wondered if it might happen. Let's get it back on the books.
Yep. I feel too, I'd love to stat this out, that if you said that, like preemptive, right? Hey, this might happen, they go, okay. And then they ghost you, the odds of them showing on the second demo.
Yeah.
Versus if you don't say that. I think odds go up again because there's a little bit of guilt. You're not trying to guilt people into working with you, but they feel something. That's connectedness.
Yep.
It's trust that's built.
Yeah.
Like, I blew Margaret off. She said I might do that. I got to
be there next time.
Got to be there.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, I'm
really
glad
great.
we got to that one because that was one that we were just talking about. And I was like, ooh, I loved working through that deal with Duck.
Yes. And I loved working through this podcast with you because this is why we're unscripted. We're not going to edit that shit out. Like, keep it in there. This is how we do this. Like,
sorry for the awkward silences.
Stuff. Yeah. We did a good job. This is what the brain like works.
It does. It does. See, we could have, but we didn't. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on this one. We'll be back as always. In fact, we're going to stop this and just record another one. So keep listening for our next one, guys.
Bye.
Later.